But first, we go to Myanmar. After decades of isolation, the country is experiencing a new beginning. Artists and intellectuals are welcoming international exchange, some with German support.
It has golden pagodas and mineral resources. Yet Myanmar is one of the world's poorest countries. For half a century, the country was isolated by its military dictatorship. But since 2011, the government of President Thein Sein has cautiously opened up. In February 2014, German President Joachim Gauck reopened the Goethe Institute. 10 months later, the villa, once the headquarters of the independence movement, is still a quiet place. Institute founder Franz Xaver Augustin and his colleagues have learned to be patient when they encounter new obstacles.
Colonial rule left this country humiliated, and that has led to the people here treating everything that comes from outside with a great deal of skepticism. And it's a great challenge for us to explain to people here that this exchange and this opening up and getting to know others will benefit them.
The Goethe Institute was closed for 50 years. But now Augustin is doing everything he can to rebuild ties between Germany and Myanmar. This requires a lot of sensitivity. Myanmar has been flooded by foreign investment. The capital Yangon, with its 5 million people, feels like a boomtown for the first time. But after decades of isolation, the country is torn between those who welcome these developments and those worried by the rapid changes around them. The Pansodan Gallery is a popular meeting place for intellectuals. Its founder is the publisher and collector Aung San Suu Kyi.
Most of the Burmese artists trying to get more exposure and also to get more reconnected. And this is also one is very important. And the other thing in my mind is myself. It's what I'm thinking is I also thinking to support and trying to open a lot of the small museums or big museums or whatever in Burma. We also speak a lot about that, and also with the many different kind of organization. I think Goethe Institute is very important for that kind of knowledge.
To make his dream of a museum a reality, Aung San Suu Kyi collects everything he can. Items that were kept out of public view for decades, like photographs, posters and old magazines from the 1950s. Augustin is a regular visitor, and each time he comes, Aung San Suu Kyi has new treasures to display. This time, he has an old advertising poster for an East German fashion show in Yangon. That was in 1961, at the time West Germany still had a Goethe Institute here.
In the early days, there was a flowering of German-Burmese relations. East and West Germany competed with each other to win favor in Myanmar, such as by offering scholarships.
After the military coup in 1962, the Goethe Institute was forced to close. Today, people here have new educational and cultural opportunities. The independent art and gallery scene hopes to establish itself in warehouses in the Harbour District. Hwa Nu and her husband Tun Win Aung have taken part in international exhibitions, like at the New York Guggenheim, but they were almost unknown in their own country until recently.
I have the feeling that my international exhibitions have helped a lot to make me better known in my own country. That was really the biggest problem so far. I couldn't exhibit in Myanmar, but slowly the audience here has become interested in my art.
Hwa Nu comes from a family of artists. Her father, Maung Wuna, was one of the country's top film directors in the 1970s. But most of his works disappeared during the military dictatorship. Hwa Nu has made it her mission to save his movies. His film, Tender Are the Feet, was restored with Goethe Institute help. Its international premiere was at the 2014 Berlin Film Festival. The film tells the story of a young singer who decides to become a film star against the will of her boyfriend. and who prefers the Western lifestyle to the traditional Burmese one.
My father was often visited by the censors when he was editing the film. Scenes were shortened and some disappeared completely, such as scenes of the Western-style nightlife in Yangon. I'm very happy that this film is now screening at festivals in the restored version. It's what my father always hoped for.
Cinemas in the capital Yangon still mostly screen European films and American blockbusters, but the local film scene is finding its feet again.
Movie and video making, they also start a kind of the censorship. So in some way, one is like this, never been clear. Someone can be censored for many different reasons. So this is also like I think it's known as some progress. Also, a lot of people can express in some different way, but at the same time, it's not clear yet.
And it's also not clear who will be in charge in Myanmar in the future. The country is in a very fragile state. Myanmar's first free elections will be held in March. Many in the West pin their hopes on opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi. But people here are looking to the elections with mixed feelings. Some demand a return to traditions, while others desire modernity. But most want one thing above all, and that is stability.